What is up, guys? Welcome to my first vlog series. I wanted to get something started off to talk a little bit about what I use, what I play, some of my daily life, and some of the things that I'm involved in musically. So this portion is dedicated to my guitars, the gear that I have on the guitars that I play, and some of the stuff that I've had for a long time. So I figured I'd talk a little bit about that. So this first guitar is the first real electric guitar that I really ever owned. It's a BC Rich Virgo, and it's super damaged. This guitar has seen better days, but you know, everything from the headstock chips to like the frets being super worn out, to, as you noticed, a few strings missing. This was the guitar that I begged my parents to buy when I was probably around the middle school age. The first electric guitar I ever had was technically a Squier Strat. That didn't survive. And I really kind of wouldn't equate that with the guitar that got me as excited about music as this one did. I remember I had a choice between, it was like a Dean, what was it? It was like one of those soloist, not soloist looking Deans, but kind of the less polished shaped ones. And it was super sick looking. It had like an abalone binding, and it was black. But I saw this guitar, and I was super into metal at the time, and I was just kind of learning about some bands like In Flames, and this guitar like popped out at me, and I was like, whoa, this is super sick. And my mom was like, oh, that looks really satanic. Maybe you don't want that one. And I'm like, no, I want this one. And oddly enough, of course, I'm wearing sleeves for this. When I turned 18, the first guitar or first tattoo that I got was actually this guitar, which is super corny and super stereotypical metalhead tattoo. But at the time, it was kind of the only thing that I could figure to get. So yeah, I got that tattooed on me. This guitar is a humbucker single. I think the single coil in this is supposed to be a Seymour Duncan hot reel, but I don't totally remember. And the stock pickup is just like a stock pickup. Actually doesn't sound bad. And then three-way toggle, volume, and tone, and then 24 frets, bolt-on. It's kind of neck heavy, so it always like does this, but still super cool, super special guitar. I could never part with it. It just kind of got like a special meaning to me. So that was my first guitar. So the next guitar I'm going to talk about is probably the one that's the most iconic for me, and it's my Bowden OS 8-string. So this is an import model. A lot of people ask me about it because of the fact that this is like what they called a transition guitar. They were transitioning from Korea to Indonesia, and they only had a handful of guitars made with the roasted maple neck for their new line. And at the time I was talking to one of the guys at Strandberg, and we were getting ready to go out on tour and go to Europe. And I'm like, man, I really want that guitar. Like, that's the guitar that I want so bad. And he made it happen. And there was just something like really magical about the fretboard. And at the time it had EMG pickups. I had those swapped out for these custom Elysian prototypes that Adam Bath made me. Elysian pickups are super dope, and they match my neck. So I wanted something really unique. And then I also put in this kill switch, which glows green when it has a battery in it. And that's from Iron Age Guitar Accessories, and they're super dope. But this guitar, my transition Bowden 8, has a swamp ash body maple top, roasted maple neck, 26.5 to 28 inch scale radius. So basically from here to here, it's different. It allows you to play leads kind of more normally than you would on just a regular straight scale guitar. It also like have, tighter low strings, so that's like super helpful for me. And then obviously it has the Endura neck profile, which is super awesome. allows me to have a little bit more comfort while I'm playing, especially some of the chord shapes and stretches. And for tapping, this guitar is literally the answer, because of the fact that it has like a longer scale. It makes tapping way easier, and it just resonates very well, very comfortable heel. And because of Strandberg's ergonomic design, it allows me to play in all different playing positions. So it's been super helpful to me. And then just a simple 3-way switch and Strandberg bridge. And that's my Bowden 8. This next one is not a guitar. This is actually my first bass. So this is a Soundgear Maple Neck 5-string from Ibanez. And this bass has like a really interesting story. So I was playing in a metalcore band when I was going to Berkeley, and we kind of went through a phase where we didn't have a dedicated bass player. So we kept having to, find people to fill that position. And it was 2 different guys who, we went back and forth in between. But one of our friends was just a guitar player, and he didn't have a bass. So I was pretty much getting to the point where I'm like, okay, really need to get this bass situation sorted out. And so a buddy of mine who worked at Guitar Center was like, hey, I can totally hook you up with a discount if you need to get something. And I was like, oh, shoot, light bulb. And I saw this on the wall, and I really like maple necks. Always have, just always kind of been a thing. And so I was like, how much would this bass be? And it was way, way more affordable with the discount, which was super tight. So yeah, he helped me get this Soundgear bass, and our bass player used it, for all of our shows. It literally has been beaten to death. The bridge is super corroded. Jack got a little screwed up, and just pretty used bass. So this guitar was this is a cool guitar. This is an acoustic guitar. It's technically my dad's, but I kind of commandeer it from once in a while just to play an acoustic, since it's the only one that's here now. So this guitar was signed by Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish, and my younger brother put this cool sticker on it. It's just kind of a cool beater acoustic guitar. Nothing fancy, but I kind of feel I don't know. Yeah, I kind of feel acoustics are kind of cool when they're beat up, and this one is definitely kind of more on the beat up side. But yeah, just simple Dreadnought Epiphone acoustic. Sick, cool. So this is a recent acquisition. This is a guitar that I just got. I haven't really shown it off too much because it's not one that I use as often, but this is a top 10 PRS Custom 22. It's super tight, amazing wood grain, beautiful flame. I don't really play 6-string anymore. I don't have a ton of them, but I had a guitar that I was trying to sell, and a musician in the area reached out to me, a guy who played for In This Moment, super awesome dude, and he needed a 7-string and I needed a 6-string, so it kind of worked out really well. It's got the PRS Dragon pickups, and it's got that weird switchy thing instead of a normal 5-way, which is kind of different, but it sounds really great. Very, very resonant. It resonates forever, and that can be an awesome thing. It can also be a nightmare when recording, but it's just one of the most unique sounding instruments, and I have to admit that I really dig it. I don't own any 22 frets aside from this one, so I thought this was super cool. It'll probably make some appearances on some things, but yeah, this is my dope, super sick dad guitar. And last but not least is the Piece de la Resistance, my new Bowden original from Strandberg. This is a 7-string. It is incredible. Roasted maple neck, flame maple top, swamp ash body, chambered, 3-way switch. But the cool thing is it's got a coil tap and then like a mode 2 for like a different voicing. And I was super impressed by how awesome this guitar was, because I haven't had a trem equipped guitar in a long time. I kind of abandoned them because they were a pain in the butt to deal with. But the design from Strandberg is super comfortable. It stays in tune really well, and it really allows you to dig in. Like on the recordings I've already done with it, like I've gone absolutely nuts with this thing, and it hasn't shifted a bit. It's just a really awesome playing and sounding guitar. I was super impressed with the Fishman Fluences. I'm not really an active guy anymore. Kind of had like back and forth experiences with them. But these were really surprising. They sound super dope. I might switch them out at some point for something that looks a little woodier. But overall, super awesome guitar. It is also fan fret. I think it's like a 26 3/4 to 25 1/2. It's like a very slight fan, but super comfortable. And this guitar has been my main guitar for writing this record. Just been super awesome. I'm a big fan of how comfortable the 7-string neck is. Like, it almost feels like a 6-string neck for me. But it's been really great. So that's a little bit about my guitars. Thank you so much to Strandberg for these amazing instruments. They have allowed me to create all of the music that I'm working on right now, and it's been cool to bring them around the world because they're so light and awesome and headless. So that was just a little glimpse into the gear that I have. Stay tuned for my next vlog. Please make sure to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, as well as the notification bell. And please follow me on all of my other social media platforms where I post more videos, because Instagram videos are way easier to post. But anyways, guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you.